I hope I counted to five. Hey, Connor, how's it going?
Good. How's it going, Norm?
Good, good. For those of you who don't know me, I am Norm Coyne, the founder of Northern FanCon. And we are here tonight, as you can tell by Connor, my buddy from the Prestige Hotel, the general manager of the Prestige Hotel, and a huge supporter of FanCon. We're celebrating Batman tonight. He's in the Bat Cave. Like, how epic is that? I got my grubby background. I'm like, what is up? But are you a big Batman fan, Connor?
uh, I think so. I mean,
Oh, you live in the
what,
cave.
what, I live in the cave. I mean, obviously.
Right on. Did you read comic books growing up?
I did. Yeah, I was a huge Marvel fan. Yeah, super. I grew up, with Superman kind of in the background as well. Yeah, so Batman's one of my personal favorites as well. It's more of the realistic style kind of comic book, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Are you so tonight? Just in case you're happening to hop on in and you're like, hey, what's going on here on this FanCon Facebook page,
Yep.
or Twitch or YouTube? What we're doing tonight is we're going to have a live draw at 8 o'clock with Andy Poon.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with who Andy Poon is, if you come to FanCon, you probably know Andy Poon. He actually did the cover art for our FanCon Legacy book, but he's more famous than that for his work on the CW. He's a concept artist for the CW. He's done work for Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. Huge, huge, huge current working artist in the television and film world. Are you familiar with Andy's work, Connor? Have you ever seen any of his stuff?
I am actually one of my guilty pleasures is watching the Flash. So, yeah,
I love Flash. I think
yeah,
that
so
the
good.
first season of Flash is one of my favorite seasons of television ever.
Yeah.
Um, like it checked all the boxes for me. And you know what? I was never a Flash fan growing up. Like, I mean, his only superhero or power basically is just he can run, right? That's what I
Right.
thought.
Yeah.
But I like the stuff that they do, right? Where I mean, like, it's not just running fast; it's time travel, or it's like the different kind of parallel realities and all that kind of stuff. But are you up
Like
to speed? Are you current?
I haven't watched the latest season. The last thing, well, I'm not going to say any spoilers just in case if anyone's watching and hasn't seen it. But yeah, I haven't seen the newest season just yet. Um, yeah, I mean, I walked into that show not knowing anything about the Flash, which is it seems crazy, but yeah, I think that was probably the best way coming into it because yeah, you get to see it from other people's point of view and just like get to see all the action like live, right? So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I can tell by your setup. Clearly, I'm not sitting in a wicked chair with some super cool headphones and in the Batcave. You must be a gamer,
Yeah, yeah, I am for sure.
okay? And
Yeah,
like,
so
what do you play? What are you playing right now?
So currently, I've been playing Civilization 6. It's just been consuming my life right now, which is both fantastic and terrible. But yeah, I never played that game either. So it was free on Epic. I downloaded it, and yeah, it's been kind of my go-to right now. I do a lot of streaming too. I do Twitch streaming with some of my buddies. We just kind of talk it out and play some games, and we either do like Fortnite or we go ahead and play like PlayStation games or something. So
That's awesome, dude.
yeah.
Now I've heard like of drop-ins. Is this a thing even? Like maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. Where you're playing. Oh no, this is a thing because I heard about it not too long ago. But like this is not potentially a Twitch related, but I mean like it was someone was playing Animal Crossing, and
Hmm.
Elijah Wood came to their island or something like this.
Oh,
And
okay.
I feel like my kid told me a story where someone ended up playing with Snoop Dogg or something like that. Like, is that a
Really?
thing? Like, are you ever like on Fortnite and then you're like, oh my god, that's someone famous? Is that a thing?
No, no, unfortunately not. I wish that'd be great. I'd be able to like either jump into their game or they jump into mine, but um, no, it hasn't happened to me. But I do know that's a thing. It happens to lots of people online and streaming, right? So
Crazy. We
Yeah.
actually have something that we've been working on for a while that hopefully we'll be able to introduce in months to come. That is very much in that vein of. I don't want to give it away, but of gaming with somebody who yeah, I don't want to give it away. Anyways, we'll shelve that.
Oh, very, very secretive. Oh no.
Right. Yeah. Okay, buddy. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you came here, you came to Prince George
Yeah.
to basically take over the general manager position at the Prestige Hotel.
Yeah, that's
Where did you
correct.
come
Yeah.
from?
So, I mean, before I was working with Pomeroy, and I've been in and out of Fort or of Prince George quite a bit. Never really stopped here. I mean, I thought that was crazy. You know, when I got here, everything is just like everything's in your backyard. You know, like there's waterfalls nearby, lakes nearby. It's a kind of a no brainer living here. So when the opportunity came around the corner about the Prestige, it was like, yeah, absolutely, because essentially the hotel is considered a 3-star hotel, and we're moving and adding amenities to upgrade it to a 4-star hotel. So and making it more of a resort location in town. So yeah, that's my job. That's what I've been doing previously in my career is, you know, opening, closing, and, you know, introducing different policies and procedures in hotels. So I get to do that here in beautiful Prince George.
Man, and I have seen what you guys are doing there. Like I was very lucky for you to take me on like a couple of behind the scene tours of the expansion, and it is going to change the game in Prince George. Like it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, I'm very
Um
excited about it.
dude, it's like I honestly like as we like a lot of the stuff that we do through Unlimited Media is celebrity placement. So
Mm.
you know, like we'll bring a guest to town, even if it's not attached to FanCon. Say it's like
Yeah,
you know George St. Pierre or something like that, and so it's always on my you know peripheral, like what's going on in the hotel market.
yeah,
And as soon as you guys like announced you were doing this, um and then just seeing it break ground, I was like, oh my god, this is so exciting because
yeah,
it is gonna elevate the environment, the landscape, everything for like it'll be a true luxury hotel in Prince George. I mean, like the
yeah.
hotels are great here, but
Mhm.
this will be like that penthouse that you guys have planned is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I'll have to do a stream or something pretty soon here about you know, what it's looking like so far. You know, with everything going on in the economy, the one blessing we've had is that construction has been going on as normal, so no delays there. Which is, you know, we're planning on coming out of this right out of the gun, just like shoot, just shooting right for it. So it'll be great.
Yeah, and I foresee that we'll be doing some FanCon events in the hotel and in the
Mhm.
attached show lounge in weeks, years,
Yeah,
months, whatever to come, whenever they
for
let
sure.
us,
Whenever we let you, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
But
that'll be great.
yeah, and I mean, like, so you worked a bit in Kamloops, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, and because Kamloops had quite a bit of actually film productions and whatnot there.
Yeah, that's
Did you
correct.
ever have any run-ins with any of the productions?
I did. You know, my first introduction down there um, to one of the productions that was happening was actually during the movie Shooter with
Oh
Mark
yeah,
Wahlberg. Yeah.
yeah.
So I was helping a friend of mine. He was working up at the movie theater at the Cineplex Odeon in Kamloops, and he needed some AV set up. And I was working with a buddy of mine at the time in the AV company, and we were setting up a bunch of audio. And you know, the entire place was empty. It was a ghost town. It's like Friday night. Why is nobody in here? And the owner was there, and he was like dressed up in a suit and tie, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, we have a celebrity coming in here. And then I got to meet Mark Wahlberg coming in with two of his security guys, and probably one of the nicest human beings. It was kind of like flooring. I was like, wow. He was a little shorter than I am, but he's also very, very, very polite individual. Um, but when I was working in Sandman, we brought in another production, and one of my hotels actually hosted and held the Power Rangers. So
Wow.
yeah, when they were filming that downtown. And another funny story was I was walking to um, I was walking to a local deli downtown, and I was walking across the street, and I noticed some cones, but I wasn't paying attention because I was on my phone, and I passed through the cones, and next thing you know, I was getting yelled at because I walked through a
Oh,
scene that they
live
were
set.
recording. Yeah,
That's
so
hilarious.
but yeah, it was really cool. They got to stay at our hotel, and didn't really get to see too much of the talent, but the crew was great. The audio sound guys were just down to earth, and yeah, it was really great to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's deadly, dude. And I mean, like, that is something that we have been working on kind of behind the scenes, through Unlimited, through Barker Street Cinema, and you and I have actually had some long discussions about rejuvenating the film industry here in Prince George.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so it's nice to have somebody. I'd like having that confidence of like support,
Mhm.
like from folks like yourselves, where like you've seen the effects it can have, like
Oh,
what
absolutely.
it does for a city, what it does for an economy.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's lots of exciting things in play when the lights turn back on, right? So,
Yeah.
but I mean, like it seems like things are starting to roll out, of course, right? But
Mhm.
how are things going with you? Like, I mean, obviously you guys have actually you've kept busy the whole time. I saw that you're
Yeah.
doing like a home service
Yeah.
for delivery food and stuff like that. How did that go?
It went really well. We're still doing it for those people who can't get out to do grocery shopping, etc. So yeah, basically when everything kind of hit the economy, we had to do some outside the box thinking, because the thing that dreaded the most was people going on layoffs and not wanting to work and everything, because of being home with your family, and which is understandable. But we had to make sure that we keep our people engaged and keep them safe, but also be able to support the community in the same way, right? So we put together a grocery program. Basically, what it is, we contacted all of our vendors and let them know that, hey, we want people to buy product through us at no cost. It's not going to cost us anything. We don't make any money. The only thing we did do is made sure that the drivers were getting paid. So we did a $10 delivery fee, so it was $10 on top of whatever you bought, and it was at cost to what we pay through our vendors for groceries and meat products. And that said, some of it came in kind of funny quantities, right? So some people will get ketchup, and then they get a 30-liter container of ketchup, but right. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
Do you know what? It occurred to me as you were like talking, like that. I love the initiative. I think it's great, and I think that you guys do very much think outside the box there. You should be commended. Um, I was just thinking, if somebody was actually just like scrolling through their news feed or whatever, and then they saw FanCon come up, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on with FanCon?" And then they heard you talk about, like we wanted to help, and like we did this through the business, and then they
yeah,
saw where you are. It would seem like it's some kind of a skit where you're Bruce Wayne.
yeah. Yeah. We're here to help.
Amazing. Oh, that's so good. Paul, I hope we're recording this. um, cool, man. That's awesome though. And another thing that we had that I thought was awesome, um, that you actually kind of were the driving force behind, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
But you guys actually were part of a prize package that was on Price is Right.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. So me and the corporate team with the Prestige Group, we were thinking outside the well, this is prior to everything that's happened, but we were trying to do some marketing pieces and trying to get all these local communities exposed and show Prestige as what we are, which is prestigious hotels. So we got forward and put together a prize package. The initial introduction was that the Price is Right actually reached out to us for one of our Vernon properties, and we were like, yeah, we have to jump on this for all of our hotels, because that just makes the most sense. So we just donated all of our 6 of our properties, and we made sure that they were provided to the game show, and one of the winners actually got a prize here at in Prince George region. So that's great.
Wow, that's cool.
I
And
mean,
I mean, I guess they probably haven't had a chance to actually visit the city. Like, has that happened just in the fall, maybe?
that was in August, yeah.
Yeah.
So Yeah, when they won, we have reached out to them and kept in touch, making sure that if they're coming and when they're coming, and we got a laundry list of items for them to do. The community has been like crazy supportive. They were
Yeah,
like, oh, how do we help these guys out? Well, let's give them a shout out to what Prince George is actually about, right? So
yeah, yeah.
we had people coming out with like adventure tours, and like um, one individual like actually donate going in and driving like Formula One cars here in town, which is just crazy. And then helicopter tours to kind of see everything from the eagle eyes view. So they're very excited to come down. When that is, obviously, people can't travel at this point. They're from California. So,
For sure,
yeah.
for sure. Cool, buddy. Well, we're gonna be actually kind of wrapping up here in a few
Mhm.
minutes. I wanted to specifically and uh, very much extend my thanks for your guys' support. For, I mean, you were one of the big supporters for our Kickstarter for FanCon. Like everything that I mean, you and I laid a lot of track together for FanCon for this year,
Yeah.
and like still fingers crossed that
Hmm.
September comes and things go. But even if they don't, then we'll figure that out. But I am very, very grateful for your guys' support. You guys are just amazing. I love what you're doing there. I think that property is like, it will
Hmm.
absolutely change the game in Prince George and the region, I think. So I mean, like, hats off to you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Yeah, look, Norman, and everything that you get doing for the community, thank you as well. You truly believe with what you guys are doing, and I'm excited to, be a part of it. So thank you.
Right on, buddy. Right
Yeah.
on. So we're gonna take a quick break here,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna get into Andy Poon. But Connor, thanks so much for making the time, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey man, this is Norm from FanCon again. You might have seen me about 5 minutes ago when I was with Connor from the Prestige. We were just doing a little bit of a pre-show amble. Obviously, we're very grateful to have folks like the Prestige Hotel that are big supporters of FanCon. But that's not why we're here tonight. Tonight, we are here because a good friend of ours, a FanCon OG, one of my favorite artists of all time, is going to be joining us in just a minute. He's a concept artist for the CW. Like honestly though, like that is just one aspect of what Andy does. He's had like live animations, all kinds of stuff. He has this unbelievable series that he gifted actually me some prints of one time, and it's like a Defenders series where it's all color coded and it's each of the different characters, and it's so hyper realistic, it's unbelievable. And he was gracious enough to do us a very, very big favor on our 50th anniversary. Andy Poon actually designed the cover for the FanCon Legacy book. We bring him back every year because he's such a great friend of FanCon, and he actually I reached out to him to see if he would participate in some of these FanCon from homes, and Andy offered to do something that we've never done before. So, a caveat: we've never done this before. So, but what we're going to do tonight is we're going to bring Andy on, and he's going to do a live draw. I don't even know if that's what it's called. He's going to draw something live. It's like going to FanCon. You order the commission, and Andy would be at the table doing a piece for you. But instead of being at the table, which we can't be, he's actually going to be doing it. There we go. Andy Poon. You can tell by his name on the screen. Andy, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I think you have to unmute me because I think the video was muted on your part.
The video is muted on my part?
Yeah.
Or that's Paul. Yeah. So Paul's behind the scenes. For those of you who don't know, Paul's behind the scenes right now. He's like our oracle. He's delivering information and setting us up with tech. So
yeah, the hosts have to unhide my video.
Yeah. How you been doing, anyways, buddy?
Pretty good. You know, just surviving the Walking Dead like everybody else. That's funny because I've been stuck at home, or well, I'm still working. Thankfully. Oh, I think we got visual. Yay!
Ah, there you are, man.
We're movie magic.
Yes.
You have to render the CGI, and it actually doesn't exist. I'm CG. Normal's rendering.
Very convincing.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, like I've been working, thankfully, because I work in animation, like Norm was mentioning. Work remotely from home, or partial in studio, but yeah, it's strange times. A lot of my colleagues that works in the live action sector has to stop, unfortunately, because of social distancing. So, but yeah, I think it's still creative people still creating.
No, absolutely.
For sure.
I heard something that I found really exciting, like yesterday or the day before. Are you you listen? Yeah, you must. You listen to Fat Man Beyond?
Yes.
Okay, and they were talking about how it would be super cool if they did an animated version of Colin Trevorrow's script for Star Wars.
Yes.
Would that be epic or what?
So someone actually did a very condensed, almost like a montage version of it, in this really simplified, actually really cute style CG models.
Yeah.
I think the channel's called Mr. Sunday, I think.
Okay,
I think
I'll check it out.
I think Nerdist covered actually just shared it. So yeah, they took the script and did a super like speed run, like 2-minute condensed version of all the scenes and edit with some comedy of like to compare the versions. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I legit supposedly that script is real, and I couldn't get my hands on the actual copy. I think by the time it was taken out and stuff, um, but from what I've read, it sounds legit and sounds great. I like it.
Nice.
So yeah, they should do an animated version. Well, someone have done a condensed, but someone should do a proper like episodes of it or something.
For sure. So you have a fairly long history in animation and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your
Like it was hand drawn. And 12, 15 years ago, that was kind of new. It was played at the Toonami, I think. So it was the most fun, partially because we were running a so small team. The company was at maybe 50 people capacity,
wow?
and it was creator owned IP from my boss, so we had full reign on the creative.
Oof, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was something that I don't think I will see that again. The scenario. I mean, I think we're trying to recreate that again at a certain point of our career, because now the company became 400 people company, was sold, now become DHX.
Wow.
Yeah. So but that was my favorite one. But yeah, right now we're working on I mean, it has slowed down a little bit because of the whole quarantine stuff, but we're working on like the animated series for Magic the Gathering.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. So that was, I think, after we did the Dragon Prince for Netflix, with the the creator were the writers on the Airbender, and that was funny because I think I seen a lot of article like just past week of Airbender was trending on Netflix again. It was a 15-year-old cartoon. I mean, it's one of my favorite series.
Big time.
Yeah, so I think that brought a lot of good grace and attention to our team. So then we are working on the Magic the Gathering animated series.
And that series has like a correlation, like some folks who worked on Avengers are working on that.
So the Russo brothers,
Yes!
I believe they
What?
are the executive producers. They're definitely they're creatively involved. Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't met them, but their names on it.
That's cool, man.
So and yeah, and that came as a surprise after the fact that after we started.
Yeah, that's super cool, dude.
Yeah.
What's and I mean, like, as far as I know, you're a huge Batman fan.
Yes.
Like, is Batman your character? Like, is that the one where you're like, Batman, I love Batman?
It's any day, anytime someone asks me Batman, I will do it, kind of thing. Yes.
Right on. So would that be sort of your, like, I feel like you actually have already worked dream jobs. Like,
yes, I will not say no about that. Yes.
Right? Like, so I mean, but for you, would that be sort of a crown jewel? Would be working on a Batman series? I mean, you've worked on Batwoman, yeah?
Yes, and I did the version of Batman that appears in Batwoman, and I worked on the exosuit version of Bruce Wayne with Conroy in the crossover.
On the Crisis, yeah.
So in some sense, I have checked that, but it's kind of indirectly. So I'm not gonna say no if they hit me more directly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I mean, also meeting David Deathstroke on CW.
Yeah.
And then I went and met Marv Wolfman.
Oh wow!
And he was last year at San Diego Comic-Con, and I mean, I already heard that he was fairly happy with it. So if he hated it, I wouldn't have approached him. But so yeah, I met with him. I gave him one of the print of the concept I did, and we just chatted a little bit. And he was happy how it turned out. So that was nice. Um, yeah, it's
That's
weird.
super cool, man. Because the thing is like you think like, because you have fans for the work that you do, and then you're a fan of someone who kind of like was the infusion or like the creator,
Yeah,
right? Of the
it's almost like a
original
pyramid
piece.
scheme
Yeah, totally.
of
It's pretty
fandom.
cool though, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's
And I
very
think that's
cool.
fans are artists are fans of something, right? Like it's all like it's the worm Ouroboros,
For
right?
sure.
It's like the snake eating its tail, right?
Well,
But
it's weird. Like when you asked me which property I was enjoy the most, like the show that I worked on, for the Dragon Prince, I was hiring a character designer, and during the interview, she told me that she grew up watching the show that I art directed 12 years ago, and now I'm like I need to rely on her to create cool characters for me. And I mean, one, I feel old, even though I'm still on the younger side, but like, yeah, she said she grew up watching that, so that's what was strange. But yeah, it kind of connects. It's a circle of life.
totally,
Maybe
man.
without the death part, but
How old were you? Like now that makes me think, because I mean, like I do think that you seem quite young. Like how old were you when you got into the business?
so I got my first. I started freelancing like small jobs when I was like 16 years old.
Wow.
And then I never worked any other things in my life, so I don't know. I don't know what else I would do if this whole art thing goes away. I'm sure. I don't know. I'll do carrot sculptures for restaurants or something. Yeah, my first after high school, my first live action job, I worked on the iRobot with Will
Wow.
Smith. Um, and that was
Crazy.
well, that time was really weird. It's very different too because there were no Instagrams.
Yeah.
And like that's what my story. Because people ask me how I got in industry, I'm like, it's so unrelatable now. Like I used to carry my sketchbook around. I just draw everywhere just because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And then I was an extra on the X-Men 2 set. They booked me for 5 days. So, that's my smart marketing. I plunked myself down. I started drawing portraits of, I think it came out from like the EW or some sort of magazines back then. And there was portraits of other actors in their suits. So I was drawing Wolverine. And for some reason, James Marsden from Who Plays Cyclops walked into the extra holding for some reason, stopped behind me because I was like, that looks like him, but what would he doing here? He stopped behind me and asked, like, where's my portrait? So I'm like, I'll draw it tonight and I'll bring back tomorrow. And this is day one. So day two, I came back with his portrait. He took it and showed Brian Singer and the crew.
Yeah.
They made me stop working for the rest of the 5 days. I sat with the crew. They showed me how they film stuff. They introduced me to the production designer. They invited me to studio to check out all the concept art. And then they ended up hiring me to do caricatures in the rap party at the Macaroni Grill. It's gone now, but so that was my walking physical Instagram. Like that's how we had to hustle.
Man, that's a cool story. That's
have
awesome.
so many of those stories. Like most of my career was just been kind of creating weird opportunity for myself, literally finding the most high traffic. Because now we talk about like internet, like social media, about the traffic and the likes, right?
Yeah.
Back then, I have to have physical likes sitting somewhere that has high traffic that the crew can see me drawing.
Yeah.
And then try to draw the interest, ask me what I'm doing.
That's fascinating, dude. Because it is like that's the same. The principles are exactly the same.
Principle. It's selling. How do you sell your art?
Yeah.
How do you get audience to pay attention to you? Right.
Exactly. So, for people who are tuning in and want to find your work, is that the best place to find you? Is on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram these days. Most updated.
Cool. And it's Andy Poon Design
That's right.
on Instagram.
That's right. And same as Facebook. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Now, what we're doing today, and that's why I was super excited that you agreed to join us to do this tonight. We're celebrating Batman.
Yes. Oh, every day.
Every day. Well, and I'm glad you said that, because it's funny. We were brainstorming things that we wanted to do for, like for May. We wanted to do something else. We want to keep the conversation going about FanCon. Like we missed out this year so far in May for the actual event, but we want to keep doing things to keep the conversation going.
Right.
And so we were brainstorming, and I was like, when's Batman's birthday? Right? Because I know I've seen that and I miss it every year. I'm like, I almost miss it, and then I'll do a post at like 11:30 p.m. or something like that. And I was like, look it up. And in our little circle, somebody's like, it's May 27th. And I was like, okay, let's lock that in. And then it turned out that actually wasn't Batman's birthday.
Right.
But Batman was first introduced in Detective Comics in 1939 in May. Now, the dates are kind of all over the map, but I mean, like, it would likely be May 1st. If it's a comic book coming out, it was probably, the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
But we decided to go ahead with it anyways. And so that's what we're doing tonight. Is we're going to celebrate Batman. And that is what you're drawing? Is that what tell us what you're going to be doing tonight.
I'm doing this. And has a Joker looming at the back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
That's going to be epic. And so what we're going to do tonight, I mean, you're graciously donating your time, but we are also we're going to be auctioning this off.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do for that, folks who are listening, we are going to auction this piece off, and we're going to run the thread. We're going to run the thread for a little while. I feel like we shouldn't just run it until it's finished.
Or maybe give it a couple of days, like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Pass a weekend, so maybe finalize it by Monday.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. So on Monday at, let's say, noon on Monday, we're going to close the auction for this item. And any of the funds raised, we are going to donate to a comic book shop locally in Prince George in need.
Yeah.
And what we'll do in the meantime over those few days is we'll do some legwork on that and make sure that the money is going to the person who needs it the most. But I mean, like, how great is that? Like, you're such a good dude, man. Like, every time I've ever asked you for something, and I always ask you for stuff. Hey, can you do a panel for me? Hey, can you do the cover art for our legacy book? Hey, I got to tell you, man, I'm so appreciative, and I'm so glad that we have been able to build a friendship through the years at FanCon. And I mean, it's like you are to me a part of the fabric of FanCon.
Appreciate it. Well, it's fun. And I enjoy it. Like, and I don't know, meet so many people, and then every time I go back, I see like people like Brett Stark.
Yeah,
like, When I met him, I was still dating. Like last year, he was married.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I think he actually got married like by Granville Island, close by my work. I was joking. I'm like, hey, what is it? I'm gonna come crashing. But yeah, no, it's nice. And every time like people come back and say hi again and check out new stuff and chat, see what changed. So it's like a reunion every year.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it's to me, I'm like, and I've said this in like a bunch of our streams, it's like there's so many moments there, right? Like it's so full of moments where it's like something special for someone where like they've built a costume all year and they get to
reveal it.
Reveal it, debut it. They get celebrities who want to take pictures with them because of their costumes, or you get to meet your William Shatner or whatever, and you get to be part of a truly empowering, inclusive space. And like when I think of past years, I'm like, there's so many moments for me. But I got you on here anyways. can you share one of your moments with us? Because I mean, you've met people along the way.
Totally. So while we're on Batman, it was last year.
Yeah.
I went to the green room with my baby, and I don't think I was wearing anything Batman. I think my kid was wearing a Batman t-shirt, and Michael Aslin was there.
Yes.
So we started chatting, and this is the guy that made Batman. He made Batman.
Yeah.
So we had a good long interesting chat, and I told him, like, I love Batman and like what I'm doing now, and then we have good conversations. And I think he said he was around working and doing some involved in animation as well. So like he gave me a card, and like we haven't done anything per se, but like still, like, hey, this is the guy that literally put Batman in cinema.
Dude, he changed the game with
Yeah.
like that's so for anybody out there who like doesn't know, Michael Uslin.
Get out of here.
Yeah. What are you doing here? Michael Uslin in 1989, it was 79 when he got the rights to Batman.
Right.
But it took him 10 years, and he's the guy responsible for the Batman starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, which could be argued like completely rejuvenated the comic book film industry, right? Like, I mean,
it's not silly anymore.
No, it was serious, man. Serious business. Oh man, I remember when that came out too. Like, I remember I lived in a small town called Princeton.
Yeah.
2,500 people. And they actually took us by bus to Penticton, a nearby city.
Oh, that's amazing.
to go to the theater during the day.
Wow.
And watch Batman. And it was like the greatest of all. I mean, so good. So good.
Well, it's extra. It was crazy because I think when that movie came out, I forgot how old I was. I think I must have been like 6 or 7. I still have the photo. They shipped one of the Batmobile to Hong Kong. I was still at Hong Kong at that time, and they just had a display for promotion in one of the shopping malls, and I saw it, and I was like, what the hell, like, it's going on? like and I took a picture with the Batmobile and the Michael Keaton Batman standee, and I still have that picture. And every time like I see the Batmobile in like conventions and stuff in real life, I'm like, okay, I like reminds me that like that was it.
Oh man, that's like nostalgia at its finest, right?
Yeah, and then last time they did a charity thing, they shipped the tumbler from the Christopher Nolan series to the Vancouver hospital.
Oh wow!
And I donated money to have a chance to like see in person.
Sure.
Like, touch it, like, and again, I'm like, whoa.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I guess we should jump into it. I'm like, because I'll talk to you all night, and that's
Yep. That's why people ask me to do panels, because I yap too much.
Right? Oh, you're great, man. You've always been a great panelist for us too. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna flip the screen. Andy is gonna change his screen to look at his drawing board. This is the first time we've ever done something like this. So we are going to try to flip the screen, but if we are not able, then you're just going to have to enjoy it upside down. This actually kind of looks cool to me anyways.
Yeah, because you can still see me, and we can still talk.
Absolutely. And then what we're going to do is we're encouraging people to submit questions. I already see some questions coming in. So as Andy's drawing, we'll hit him with some questions. And hopefully it's not something so disturbing. No, just kidding.
I don't think you can do that to me. I'm destroyed already.
Right on. Okay. Oh, so here's a question already. If you could choose only one Batman accessory, what would it be?
Like a gadget?
Yeah, a gadget. So something, I mean, I guess that could be something from the utility belt. That could be, it's got to be an accessory. So it's got to be something that you wear. right? So maybe that's
I'll
like
limit to the belt because the first thing I'm going to say is the Batmobile, but that's too easy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it includes the Clooney version, I'll take the Bat credit card.
Amazing.
Like, but something more practical. I'll take the grappling hook. I hate traffic.
Nice.
No.
Nice.
I was gonna say shark repellent for being funny, but I'm like I don't swim, so
It's funny because we've got people actually putting in answers too, and somebody said batarang, somebody said shark repellent.
Nope, I'll take the grappling hook. I hate traffic.
You know what I used to think was super cool is when Batman would have to go underwater and he'd put like the little mouth thing in.
Oh, the breather thing.
Yeah, that'd be handy.
But see, that's something that I think already exists and you can buy.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's like the short like breather thing that I think similar, maybe not as condensed and aesthetically pleasing, but I think you can do that for a little diving. But
that's amazing. I remember. I feel like. Okay, do you remember there was like a big comic? It was like so not a regular size comic, but an actual larger book, and it was Batman versus Hulk.
Versus Hulk? No, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, dude, I'm certain I'm certain that it's not something that I dreamt up.
If not, we'll draw one.
That'd be amazing. So for if you like at a regular convention,
yep.
How many commissions do you do in a weekend? Like what is kind of the standard?
Oh, I don't know. I would say a lot of times I probably would do maybe like 5 to 8 a day.
Wow.
In of course in like various of like sizes and complexity, but yeah, I would say on average like I would probably do at least like 5 a day. Yeah, and like so. And what's really been really cool this year is because all the conventions canceled, I've actually two fans that I met from San Diego Comic-Con last year. They shipped me a blank book cover for me to draw, and then I'll ship it back to them.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So like I guess that was something that I was curious about myself personally. Like is there somewhere that someone can buy your art? Like
yeah, I don't usually like just because so the main difference with me and a lot of actual like artists who draw comic pages is quite often because after they draw the comic they will have their originals to sell and a lot of the sketches. Because most of my work I do these days professionally is digital work, so it's a little bit different. So it's quite rare that I'll have like a stock bill of original art just like for me to put on websites and stuff, which a lot of comic artists does do. But there are a lot of people contact me just privately, like asking like for commissions privately, just they tell me like what kind of characters they want, or is it a gift for somebody, or nice. So yeah, they can contact me usually through Instagram
nice.
To inquire me about that.
I mean, you're a pretty busy guy in general anyways, right?
And that's another factor. Well, that's another factor that plays into it too, right? Like what kind of time I can commit. Because there's also a lot of people asking me to, if I can, they'll be making like fan film of superhero films and asking me if I can do costumes designs for them.
Wow.
So.
That's super cool.
How about have you guys been binging anything specific during this whole quarantine?
Oh man,
shenanigan?
I watched Watchmen again.
Okay.
From the beginning.
The Snyder cut.
No, no,
Oh
no.
wait, the series?
This series.
Also, I haven't watched a series.
Oh my god, dude, you gotta watch that. It's the best thing on television. Like
I don't
in
have
the
cable
last
anymore, so
5 years. You
it's
don't
on
have.
HBO, right?
Yeah, it's so Crave. If you've got Crave for streaming, you can watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an HBO property. Oh, dude, it's so crazy and so well done.
So I have watched some non-spoiler review about it, and everybody's thought it was amazing. So that's it's on my list.
Cool. I got another question that just came in. So this is what is one of the most interesting crossover images you've been asked to draw? So, for instance, the example here is Megatron versus Batman.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, have you had any much like that where somebody's actually asked you, "Hey, man, I want to Batman versus Hulk," or
I haven't encountered like a versus scenario, but I have. I think someone asked me once to draw like Bender from Futurama as one of the X-Men characters,
oh, dude,
like a Cyclops Bender.
I wonder if that was.
I might have done in. I don't know if we've done it in FanCon. I don't think so. I think it was in Seattle.
My buddy. Okay, so it might. Okay, so this is the thing. My buddy Tobin is a huge art collector. He collects commissions. He's got like a dizzying collection, and he does stuff like that, right? Like he did a series. I feel like it's Steve Zissou from Life Aquatic.
Yep.
And he basically he gets different artists to interpret Steve Zissou.
Right.
But he also, I feel like he did some mashups too, where it was like, but he goes to Seattle every year as well.
Maybe, I wonder. I also have a acquaintance. He also worked in the animation industry, and he kind of created this character called Rhinosferatu. It's a rhino that became Nosferatu.
Oh, that's
and he will go around and ask different artists to draw in the sketchbook of their version of it.
That's cool.
So I thought that was pretty interesting too.
I like. There's also again Tobin. And I can't remember if this was something that his son asked for or if the artist just did it. But the artist, I feel like he said he wanted a Deadpool, but he wanted it as a panda. Have you ever had stuff like that where it's like, it's I want Batman, but it's a monkey Batman?
It's in a suit. I don't think I had that. It's usually like there's ones I think someone asked me to draw Psylocke from X-Men, but gender ban it. Draw a male version.
Oh yeah,
but
that's
still
cool.
In the sexy unitard, like one bathing suit. So
that's awesome. I'd referenced your series, your Defender series, with the different color schemes.
Oh yes,
dude, that's like one of my favorite things of all time.
I was so looking forward to meet Colton.
Yes,
this year,
dude. I do you know what I was trying to set up, or I did actually. No, I set up an interview with Mark Bernardin and Mike Coulter.
Oh, nice.
And that's what would have happened in May. Mark Bernardin is unable to come to our September date.
Can he via Zoom?
Oh, dude, that's the way of the world. Maybe we could.
I just want to pick his brain on He-Man. He better.
Oh, man. Yeah, I love Mark Bernardin. I'll tell you what.
He's awesome.
That guy, and much like you, I mean, like he's only been to FanCon a couple of years, but I mean, he fit right in. The stuff he did was crazy. Like he during like his workshop last year was they broke down an episode of Knight Rider.
Right.
or they broke an episode of Knight Rider broke down. But I mean, like, how awesome is that with a legit screenwriter, an award-winning screenwriter,
He's such a
having a
smart
chance
dude.
to, oh, dude, I love listening to that podcast, Fat Man Beyond. It is like one of my favorite things of all time.
Yeah, my favorite moment usually is like Kevin Smith just like, you know, with his all out excitement about everything, and then Mark
Yeah.
just like very calmly and fully broke down and do a full analysis of all the motives that
Yeah.
the of the filmmaking side, and then Kevin Smith just have his mind blown every episode.
Dude, it's so crazy. Have you met Kevin Smith before?
I met him briefly when he came back to do the episode to save the real theater.
Okay,
He did a live Batman Fat Man.
Nice.
That was pre Fat Man Beyond. That was Fat Man Beyond.
Yeah.
So I met him briefly there.
Yeah. I met him briefly myself. I was like, there was so much going on. Like 2018 was such a crazy year for FanCon, and I didn't get as much time to chat with him as I would have liked, but because I was just going all over the place. But
Right.
I did pick him up from the airport, and so I drove him in, and we just chit chatted and stuff. And I was like, dude, this guy is like, he's completely the same dude. Like, it's not an act. You know what I mean?
1-to-1. That's what you get.
Super authentic. It was really cool. How about that? So, like, for the folks that you've met at FanCon, I mean, like, everybody's like, they're all amazing people. But I mean, Michael Uslin was obviously like a sort of a moment for you. But I mean, like, being out there too, like, have you run into people that you're like, oh, like, we maybe worked on a property, but in different respects, right? Like,
who have I met that have I don't know. I have to think about that, but another great moment was meeting Ming, which and and once in a while he was still like we'll still have a quick little hey, how are you doing? And last time I was in Seattle, Emerald City Con, and then he saw me, and then he came and gave me a hug. So then I visited his booth later. So that wasn't a great one, but I don't think. I think one time I met I forgot who it was. There was a couple actors that I've met and said hi, and turns out they have did some voice work.
Oh yeah,
some animation stuff.
Like Alan Tudyk, maybe.
I thought he was, but then turned out he wasn't. But I did say hi to him because I love K2SO from Star Wars.
Dude, so good, so good.
Yeah. And I think I saw him recently in Vancouver.
We've got a comment in here that Fat Man on Batman, Fat Man on Batman to Save the Rio that you had attended.
Yep.
Paul, my partner, who is behind the scenes on this here stream, was the high bidder of the Supergirl jersey at that show.
Oh. So you have it hanging in your home, Paul.
He says, I do. That made me lose my chain of thought. So fun fact, because we haven't really pushed it out that much yet. We've got like a little plan for what we're going to be doing. But we did release details on a new series we're developing once the world turns back on, called Festies, that is actually, it's going to be hosted by Ming Chen and Ivy Doom Kitty.
Oh, I think, have you posted about it? I knew about it somewhere.
Yeah. So we did, like, we posted, we haven't pushed it like a bunch yet, because we've actually got some fancy graphics and whatnot that we're going to be putting together for it. But I mean, like, the gist of it is it's those two who are like they're convention royalty.
Yep.
And they're actually traveling from, like, we're putting them into not just Comic Cons, but I mean like festivals, really bizarre festivals all over the world.
Oh, that's fun.
Right. And then it'll be the two of them from different perspectives, kind of going down their own paths in different respects, and then meeting up at the end, but totally immersing themselves in whichever festival it is, right? And we've got some really cool ones planned.
That's a fun experiment. Now, is it PG or is it like R?
Time will tell.
Because there are some stuff I can see that's gonna turn into some hilarious things.
Oh, dude. I mean, to me, I think the world we live in, it's fairly difficult to well, I mean, yeah, it's probably not going to be PG. Let's be realistic.
Right. Well, it sounds not like G, but because like send me to a furry convention.
Let's say it's PG-13.
Prince George 13, which is R.
Yeah, it is, but it's not a hard R. And have you seen our friend Aaron Harrison at all in the last few months?
No, because especially arrows are winding down already. Yeah. Usually we have at least some sort of contact. But no, not really. I think I had a quick brief chat with him a little while ago, but on text. But no, not too much. But we were gonna see each other if this whole pandemic wasn't. We're gonna see each other at FanCon.
Of course.
And that's another fun thing is like all the different conventions where I go, it's just a place to meet colleagues and friends that you don't normally. You may work with each other's stuff, but you don't see them.
Fun fact, Aaron Harrison is actually the one who said that we needed to have you at the convention. He's like,
yes, I think he even told me about it. He was like, dude, this one's awesome.
Yeah, he's like because I was like, well, like what recommendations would you have? And he's like, Andy Poon is like a wicked guy. He's so talented. You know, he'd be so good to your show. And I feel like that year we put you guys on a panel together.
Yes, I think so. And I think that was his second year, and and then that was my first.
Yeah, 2016.
And not just your convention. I think I literally just started doing convention at that point.
Oh man, that's like then you got the bug, hey?
It's fun. If it's not so much work to other traveling and just logistics stuff, like I would do so much more like US ones, and like I heard some fun ones in Japan.
Oh, Japan, it'd be wicked.
But it's tricky for me because I work in the film and animation industry, but I don't actually draw comics, so some conventions actually not as suitable for me in terms of just the crowd.
Yeah.
Because like there are ones that are more like very actual just comic book centric that they mostly just look for actual comic creators or artists who literally have things printed in books.
Yeah.
So.
And
I think that's why FanCon's a good mix. There's so much different genre.
Yeah, I would argue even like for us, like just because filmmaking is a passion of mine, totally. We lean pretty heavily into, like the
entertainment
the film production, and aspect of it, right? Like, I'll tell you, like, there's you who, like, I love having you as a guest. Jeremy Simser, I think, is outstanding.
Yes.
And And even like did I see you guys together? Yeah, I did. Yeah, at Fan Expo I saw you guys together.
Yep. Yeah, we usually.
Dude.
They never put us together though. I think they know we're too much trouble together.
I love his idea of the little kind of almost like comic book formats of like his storyboards, like where it's like it's a booklet. That
Totally.
is such a sick idea. I love it.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I think last time I saw him, he got his mutton chops, the sideburns. It looked like Wolverine there.
That's funny. See, I think for him, I feel like FanCon was his first convention ever.
Yes. I believe so too.
Yeah. How fun, man.
I think that was year 4.
I believe that was. It was
that he started.
2018, man.
Yeah.
That was, I'll tell you what, I shouldn't have a favorite year. I shouldn't. But 2018 was
your favorite year should always be the next year, the coming year.
Oh, dude. Ugh, I'll have to remember that. What's your favorite year? 2021.
Next year. Better, bigger, more explosion. Well, hopefully not explosions, but little update.
Oh, look at this. Dude. That's looking sick. It's like fascinating just to watch it all play out. Like I can see why, like, I mean, this is a thing, right? Do you do many streams where you're drawing and recording it?
I don't. I should.
You totally should.
But so that's another. Okay, so here's the problem. Most of the time when I get to actually draw these days, and so I work during the day.
Yeah.
I come back, have dinner, until the kids go to bed. A lot of time that's like midnight.
Yeah.
So streaming it's a little bit difficult, and but so another reason I love doing cons is like I don't really get to draw on paper these days. So this gives me reasons to.
Because it's you do most of the work you do is digital, like just straight up on like. And what do you use, like a tablet, or is it on like some kind of like?
Yeah. I have the screen that actually I'm looking at you right now. It's on my my Cintiq, my tablet screen that I just directly draw on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, like obviously that must have like a fair amount of. How does that work with like pressure and stuff? Like.
Oh, it's built for that. So.
Wow, that's cool, dude. So what is that like? That's probably like a serious piece of tech, though. Like, what does something like that run?
So the one I use at home is just I just buy secondhand. To me, that makes no difference. But you buy brand new, the decent size one probably gonna be 1,500.
Wow,
it's decent. Yeah, it's almost like a computer on its own.
Crazy, man.
But the thing is, I love actually even professional artists has switched using the iPad.
Really?
Yeah. Like especially doing illustration, like they use a program called Procreate. It's pretty it's powerful enough to do like illustrations.
Unreal.
Or at least a lot of them like would like start something in it and then to a certain stage, and then when they need to really get serious, then they put it back on the PC or Apple, the Mac, and then continue on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is looking good, man.
But yeah, I'm running out of stuff to binge because the whole even I'm working because nobody have way less meeting and such at work.
Yeah.
Or if anything, it's just a Zoom meeting. I just sit there and work and watch stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that before I wasn't really in the mood of watching. Now I have watched it and love it.
What's the last thing that you really binged though?
I binged Mrs. Maisel in like 2 weeks or a week setting. Marvelous Miss.
I'm not familiar with that. What is it? I mean, it's on Prime, right?
It's on Prime. So I don't know the exact time period. But it's about uh, Mrs. Maisel. Her husband initially wanted to become comic and kind of fail, and turns out she's really good at it. So she kind of took over and become this amazing uh, comic. I'll try to become a famous comic, working comic. But it's a really good character drama, character development. One of the characters is Lenny Bruce, so you might know that I don't know what time period he's in. He's still in. It looks like he's in his 30s, maybe 30. So,
Huh. I don't. So, am I dreaming, or there was like a biopic about Lenny Bruce and Dustin Hoffman was in it? Do you remember this?
I don't remember it, but I think you might be right. And then what else? I watched Homecoming as well. With Julie Roberts. It's another Amazon Prime.
My wife watched that. Was it good?
Season 1 was amazing. And then I recently watched season 2, and it did not live up to it. But don't take my word. I think you should. Season 1 definitely is for sure amazing.
So that's interesting that both of the shows that you watched are not sort of genre like fandom
comic,
based.
And that's really funny. I mean, partially it depends on what I get access to for one of them. But I think also partially because I watch a lot of these shows while I'm working, so it cannot be too visual. Because otherwise, I will not be working anymore. So it had to be like something that I can listen to.
Nice. What? How about as far as like say artists that you think are like freaking wicked right now? Like who are you like? Oh my god, I love that person's art.
Let's see. There's a guy named. I'm really bad with names. I think there's a guy named. There's an artist. I think he's from LA. His name is Matteo Scalera.
Dude, my buddy Tobin loves that guy.
I love his art, and I bumped into him in a Seattle convention once, but I didn't want to spend $300 on a original. But next time I bump into him, I probably will.
Dude, Tobin has a Batman from that guy.
Oh, I hate Tobin. I got a Batman sketch, like a head sketch by Jay Lee last time at Fan. Fan Expo Vancouver. There's another artist. I think he's drawing the Justice League run call. I think Jorge Milano or something.
Okay, yeah.
I love his art. I don't know. Like I said, like now with the Instagram, like every day I'm discovering some new artist that just blows my mind.
Like, well, that's what's so cool about it, right? Is
totally.
I mean, people are getting discovered like on Instagram, right? Like it's so crazy. Like, I mean, yeah, it's so different than the old days, of course, right? Like,
yeah, back in the days.
Yeah. I had to be on set on X-Men 2.
Yep.
So crazy. We got some questions. Another question from the audience.
Go for it.
Okay. Who influenced you to start drawing? And what keeps you hungry to try new things? That's 2 questions. So let's just start with the first one. So who influenced you to start drawing?
So I know they missed that part. So I was born in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And I lived there until I think I was 12. So I was heavily influenced by all the Japanese animation. Because by the time I moved here, like I think Canada just getting Dragon Ball Z, and I have watched like two of the series already. Like Goku already have grown up. So I grew up on anime. But I was actually heavily influenced by manga, like comic book at first. So um back in the days, when I was a little kid, we don't have internet and I didn't quite have money yet. So the way I learned how to draw is I would go to the newspaper stand to look at comic books I like, and then try to memorize like the characters or whatnot. And then when I go home, I would draw it. And then the next day, I'll bring the piece of drawing, the paper, back to the newspaper stand and try to compare and see if I got it right or not.
Oh, man, that's cool.
So that's kind of how I have to used to do things. But then as I got a little bit older, I think it was the Batman animated series by Bruce Timm.
That's a big one for lots of people, hey?
Almost every single artist, especially in the animation sector, like almost you wouldn't. Most of the time, 90%. It's that. So that had a huge impact.
Nice.
For me.
Cool, man. Okay, so now second part of the question. What keeps you hungry to try new things?
I get bored. That's how my artistic mind works. Actually, you know what? I get bored, but I also get competitive. So, especially when I was younger, when I encounter like a amazing artist that can do amazing stuff, I would get jealous. Like, that's amazing. Like, then I'll be like, well, but why can't I do that? So then I would study it. So a little bit of that is my competitive nature, and then, but partially I just get bored, which it has served me well, but also, so a lot of artists, especially in comic books or animation, they are known for their style, like they have a signature look, but I don't. A lot of the times, like people that knows me from animation, and then one day they found that I do like live action stuff, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. So which has been good because a lot of the times I do actually focus on doing early development work. People will come to me to find new styles to explore. So
Nice.
so it had kind of served me well, but it's kind of like a little bit of a curse as well, because like a lot of times you can just like look at my stuff and pinpoint like, oh, that's his stuff, or you can tell sometimes I have certain things that I like to do, but or the way I draw stuff, but like you can find like five of my drawings and they could look completely different.
So what are a couple of those things though? Like so give us an example of what would be something that kind of commonly appears in an Andy Poon piece.
So for the more stylized stuff, and this is because my wife told me, apparently I like drawing like characters with really big feet and big hands, like proportionally, the way I stylize them.
Interesting.
And very stocky. And then I tend to draw the neck a little bit longer than usual if it's a like stylized character. And then in terms of more realistic stuff, so even though like the Defender series that you like, that I did, even though those are pretty realistic looking, and they're based on the actors' photos, obviously, I tend to like to draw them almost as a sculpture. So like things that are like normally smooth, I would put a little bit more like plane like to it, like facets, almost
Yeah,
more
yeah,
like
yeah.
a old traditional classic like Greek sculpture. They may emphasize the nose ridge a little bit more with some like sharper angles. So I tend to like to draw things sculpted like that when I'm drawing.
Nice. That's awesome. You know what? That's funny because I mean, who better to actually? I mean, who knows you better probably than your wife? And then so she would probably recognize in your work,
Oh,
you know,
totally.
like these are the things that you're actually. Yeah, that's funny. My wife
When
kind of
I draw it,
notices
I don't
the
think
same
about
things
it. I
too.
just draw.
My wife notices the same things too. Like, I think you're drinking too much. No, just kidding.
For your camera choices, right? Maybe.
Yeah, totally. This is looking awesome. I'm going to give you the heads up. We've got, we were a little bit late to start. So we'd originally planned to go to 8 to 9. But because you and I were just chit-chatting and hanging out, we'll probably run till 9:30 if that's okay. Does that work for you?
Yep. And then
Okay, cool.
I'll kind of maybe just keep a progress in the next few days. I'll just share with you on your page. And
Dude, that's amazing. That is so great. So also encouraging people who are tuned in, you can certainly ask questions. We've gotten a bunch already, but even if it's like a question, it can be about the artwork. It could be about Andy's FanCon experiences. It could be like, hey, Andy, you know, I bought a piece from you. That would be pretty cool, is if people had tuned in and they actually already own something from you.
or tell me what you had for dinner.
What I had for dinner?
Or anyone, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what did you have for dinner?
I had hot dogs because I'm at the lake.
No, I actually haven't dinner yet because I had a late lunch.
Oh, yeah. What'd you
So
have for lunch?
I so this week I was experimenting. I found a YouTube channel that from a guy that actually works in restaurants in Hong Kong. So I've been watching his recipe, and this week I experimented with curry with beef brisket.
Oh, wow. Curry with beef brisket, did you say?
Yeah, beef brisket. So I made a pot of that, and that was my lunch this week.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
And apparently my wife said
I love both those things. I love curry and I love beef brisket.
Maybe FanCon next year is gonna have a cooking Iron Chef section.
So, fun fact, we actually at one point we were trying to get the Epic Mealtime guys. Have you heard of these guys?
Who are they? I'm not familiar with them.
So Epic Mealtime is they were kind of like almost like, I would classify them as like sort of Jackass meets like a cooking show kind of thing.
That sounds like a very bad combination.
Like, have you ever?
Bad but entertaining.
Yeah, oh, it's very entertaining. Have you ever heard of Harley Mornstein?
No.
Okay, so yeah, he's one of the Epic Mealtime guys, and he's a fairly famous dude, but he's like in that vein. Sorry, I'm partially distracted. My daughter just came in, and she's like, she loves drawing. Right?
Oh,
she's an artist herself. She's an aspiring artist, and she's like, she was outside doing some chores and stuff, and now she's come inside, and she's like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
join the stream.
Say hi? Here, she's gonna say hi. Here, you can come in. Ah!
Hi. Red Riding Hood.
Did you hear that, kid?
What?
He said Red Riding Hood.
What does that mean?
Well, because you're wearing a red hood.
Oh.
What do you like to draw?
I like to draw like
Ninja.
Manga.
Oh, manga.
Yeah.
Do you read a lot of manga as well?
No.
You just like to draw manga.
Yes.
Do you know who Sailor Moon is?
Yes. I cosplayed as her for FanCon one year.
Oh, because there's like Sailor Moon drawing challenge going on in the internet right now. That all the artists are drawing their own version of Sailor Moon. You should do one.
So did I see you post a Sailor
Yeah, I
Moon?
just did one. I was a little bit late up to the game already. Yeah, I did one just the other day.
Cool. It's on your Instagram.
Yes, you can
Make
find
note,
it.
kid. You can go look at Andy Poon's Sailor Moon on Instagram.
Ooh.
Oh, look it! I've disappeared. Oh, that was weird.
Oh, you had your green screen going on. I see.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder how. Well, I mean, I'm not even on a green screen, but
No, but the technology, yeah, they
That's-
can kind of recognize the outline.
it's crazy, man. So crazy. So can you tell what he's drawing?
He's drawing Batman.
Yeah, and is there anything else in there?
There's Joker.
Oh, update. Oh, that looks badass, buddy. Like, that is amazing.
That's good shading.
Thank you. I got approval.
Okay, we got another question from the audience. You mentioned that this is the time for animation to thrive, with the physical distance being a thing.
Mhm.
What real life series or character would you like to see animated that hasn't been animated before?
Oh.
My Hero Academia.
Is that
That's already animation.
that was an animation?
What?
Oh no, she thought they meant animation to real life.
Oh, reverse. I see.
Yeah, they mean real life animation.
Oh.
Let's see. Live action to animation, eh?
Wait, this is
Oh, we need
live?
we need
Yeah,
a
this is
Tiger
live.
King. Tiger King animated.
Yeah, you're being filmed.
Wait, I am?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Wait, I still want to be here.
Tiger King would be pretty cool.
I can see it like almost like I mean, I was gonna say it's like a parody version. I'm like, they are already a parody.
Do you know what? Have you you heard though that they're doing a spin-off series of that? Hey.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, and so it'll be fiction or not fictional, but I mean like it'll be recreated, I guess. And the star
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
is Nicolas Cage.
Yes. So is it going to be a retelling of the actual event?
So it's a series. So I don't know what the approach is. I mean, things get so meta now, right? Like it's like who knows what it'll be.
So I've been watching Parks and Rec. I'm so late to the game, but I know people love it.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see that if they redo the series almost in like The Office style, as if like they were filming the series.
Yeah.
Because the whole Tiger King, it was supposed to be like a series of like exotic animal show. So if they were recreating the process while they're filming, but almost like fourth wall broken, like The Office,
that would
be hilarious.
Cool. That would be cool.
Wait, they should make a manga about Stranger Things.
Oh.
I think there are comic books out there, but not Japanese style. But
that would be cool though.
But it would be cool in like anime.
That would be cool. I will watch that.
For sure.
That's a good one. She answered it.
Yeah. Okay. So, see what he's using? It's pretty awesome, hey?
Yeah.
So that reminds me of something that Tobin would want. Hey?
Oh, yeah.
Is Tobin bidding?
So he knows about this, and I haven't seen... Paul, if you can hear me in Never Neverland, can we should probably throw up a post just saying that bidding is live as of now, and then because I don't think we actually did. I mean, when the piece is finished, well, how are we going to do that? Anyways, we haven't seen any bids come in yet, but what's that, buddy? So I think that I feel like Andy, what would be your preference? Because to me, I feel like Well, I mean, it'll be tough because how are you going to do that across 3 channels?
I think just do it on your thing because
Yeah.
I mean it's essentially a FanCon event.
Yeah, so like on our Facebook page, maybe.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
can share it and stuff. But
Yeah, so let's do that, Paul. And then
Wait,
uh,
Dad, you need to show off your new haircut.
no, I don't need a new haircut.
No,
That's
but
like you
Dad,
don't need
That's
to subject people to that.
no,
that's the
Dad got
apocalyptic cut.
What's
Dad.
that?
That's the quarantine cut.
Yeah, it is. Well, no, it actually was a quarantine cut, but I got into a hairdresser today, and they had to
Oh,
shave
I
it
see.
right down because I had like a little weird day where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cut my hair myself, and I don't know if you've actually tried that, but it didn't look very good.
Yeah.
It
Well,
looked like a cross between David Lynch's haircut and one of the Vikings from Vikings.
It was sticking out
Sounds cool.
out. Like it kind of looked like pigtails at the very tip of his head, like a shark fin. But then there's like pigtails coming out of the shark fin.
I don't think I've seen anything like that.
Yeah, should have taken a picture, but I made sure we didn't. Paul, while you were on the line, I was going to ask you another question. What was it? Thanks, buddy.
I'm your buddy now.
Bug, I love you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Somebody says there are North American style Stranger Things comics. Great
Yes.
suggestion for an animated series.
Wait, but you're still my buddy, Dad.
Yes, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend too. And Mom and Mr. Poco.
All right.
Poco's like somewhere at the top. It was just kidding.
All right. Okay, cool. What else we got on the go? You're up to speed on Fat Man on Batman, right? Or Fat Man Beyond right now?
I don't think I've watched the latest 2 episodes, but spoil me, I don't care.
You saw the well, that's okay. You saw the Jim Lee one though?
Jim Lee one. I don't think so.
Okay,
Wait,
so
is it the one talking about Jim Lee? Talking about Jim Lee?
No,
Oh.
they had it was one of the first streaming ones that they had from the bar when COVID happened.
Oh,
And
I don't think so.
They had Jim Lee call in, and he's
Oh.
kind of doing. I feel like I might have this wrong. Paul, are you still on the call? Anyways, I feel like he was doing some kind of thing where it was like 30
Yeah, he's doing an
in
auction.
30 days.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yep, he's
And then-
it says like 6 figures now
Oh my god.
because he's Jim Lee. Mike Mignola, the Hellboy creator, he's
Yeah.
doing at least a sketch or a few a day. And yeah, his stuff is. If I have like bag of money, I'm totally buying a bunch of this because he's drawing random stuff. He's drawing like Thundercat. He's drawing Pokemon, but in the Hellboy style. So it's
Oh
like
my
a weird
God.
mix.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. This is like absolutely fascinating to me to see it take shape. This is like I've never been artistic in this way, and it's just like I find it so absolutely compelling and fascinating. It's crazy, man. Do you watch? Oh, thanks, buddy. Oh yeah, no. I was just like I was wondering if you'd seen that Jim Lee thing, but he knew what I was talking about, anyways. Do you ever watch these sorts of videos, Andy?
Stream videos.
Well, no,
Of
like
artist drawing?
artist drawing.
Oh, yeah. I don't usually like sit there and watch usually I watch it like the little shorter section when they repost it on like Instagram or something.
Yeah.
It's very
Or
rare
like maybe a time lapse.
Yeah, like a condensed time lapse version of it.
Did you get a chance to talk to Jim Mahfood when he was at FanCon in 2018?
No, but I talked to him.
At Emerald City, probably.
Yes, because I was tabling like close by him.
Dude, I love
He's
that
a
guy's stuff.
crazy artist, man.
So that one of the things we did that year, we did because him and Dave Crossland are really good buddies.
Yes, Dave Crossland, he's a good dude.
Yeah, man, they're both awesome. And they do this. My buddy Mike was had done a DJ party with them at the Vancouver Art Museum, where it was like they licensed the museum after hours, and those guys did like an art battle.
Oh, cool.
And then but what it was is there was like a DJ, and then they did like 2 canvases each,
Nice.
and they auctioned them off on the spot, and dude, they were sick. Like, it was so insane because it was like basically it was like do whatever you want, right?
Yep.
And for Jim's one piece, it was like some kind of like post-apocalyptic stripper riding a dinosaur. It was
Sounds about right.
nuts,
Sounds
man.
about right.
So nuts. He's got like a really distinct style, hey?
Oh, like he's like I don't even call him an artist, but just just because he's so many things. Like he is like pop culture and underground art culture wrapped into this one thing that, like, he's so unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So we've got about 11 minutes left on the stream here, folks. So if you have questions for Andy, then he's here, man. He's pretty forthcoming with his answers.
Yep.
Oh,
That's the voice of
disembodied
God.
head.
Voice of God.
Disembodied head.
Actually, because Batman is so iconic, I actually need to plan more ahead, because I also try to maybe do a version that is slightly, because I see so many Batman images. It's so easy for me to probably just directly think and draw like the exact Jim Lee version, or so I actually need to almost think a little bit more, or try to differentiate a little bit more, versus like something actually less less burn into my mind, like a character that is, then I find actually I can go a little bit looser on that.
You know what I was thinking when I was watching you through this process, and I'm like, because I am very much not a physical artist like this, I'm like, how often, like, to me, I'm thinking, I'm like, I would be making mistakes all over this shit. Like, how often is it that like something happens where you're like, oh no, that's a mistake and I need to correct it, and it is integrated into the art and then becomes something
Right.
that is like either a positive thing, or is it just that way? Like, it's like, it's organic. So, like, those mistakes are just like our mistakes, right? Where it's like, it becomes like a blemish that is part of the fabric of that person.
So I think that's that is a good artist. They just learn to hide the mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you're just talking about Jim Fu, like he is so loose, like that. The style, it embraces those things.
Oh, dude, it
So
totally does. It's so free, right? Like,
you can't
dude.
replicate that. Like, he literally just he's not even drawing. He's just letting the drawing happen.
Yeah.
Like, I almost find myself too structured these days just because of my profession.
Yeah.
I have to be structured, and so when I need to do something loose, I actually need to unlearn things on the spot.
Huh.
Like, stop myself from being too rigid.
That's interesting. And do you find that, Like, do you ever draw something and then you're like, you're drawing it and then you're like, oh my God, that's actually this person. Like, it almost kind of subconsciously bubbled through that all of a sudden, oh, damn, that's
Oh,
Kevin
totally.
Conroy's face, or someone, and you're like, I didn't even realize I was drawing that person.
Totally. And that kind of happened a couple of times on like something like show on Arrow or something. Like if they haven't cast somebody, I sometimes would just draw a face, and then it'll be funny to compare the and see who they cast. Like, are they casting based on, have the drawing influence on who casting? Or that's an
cool.
interesting fact. Sometimes.
So you say something like that, and you know what? There's going to be a bunch of young actors that are going to try and buddy up to you so that their faces start appearing in your concept art.
I get those messages constantly on Instagram.
For real?
Yes, like from like, oh, I'm an experienced artist. Like, hey, I would love to like play this part on for this superhero role. Like, can I commission to draw me as this superhero? Then maybe people will see it.
Oh my God! And have you done that very often?
No, because often, as soon as they hear the pricing issue, it kind of stops them. But yeah, it has happened quite frequently that question pops up.
So say I'm an actor, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be the new Green Lantern, let's say.
Right.
And so I'm like, I come to you and I'm like, I know you do all this concept art. I want to include this in my pitch. What is that going to look like for me? Like, I mean, price wise, what would that cost?
Well, I mean, if it's like, if they want it to almost like a fake, quote unquote, like a fake concept.
Yeah. Like the ones that we see in your portfolio.
That's, you're looking at the 1,000 to 2,000, depends.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Then also, like, I actually usually is actually not about the money. I mean, it's a factor, but usually it's just like, I would say, well, I don't think that will actually affect the decision or give them a leg up per se. And then there's something also, like, I mean, ethically, I don't know, like, I don't know. So usually I turn them down. Usually the money kind of scare them away, but that's not like the main reason.
Yeah.
Usually it's just like, it's kind of, I don't think you need that. Like, if you're an actor.
For sure.
Yeah.
I like those concept art. Like, that concept art is so, to me, not like anything that I've seen. Because it's done specifically strictly digitally. Is that what it is?
Yeah, most of the concept, they're all digital.
The look is so unique. It's such an interesting look. This is like, you're brilliant with shading, man. Like, this looks so good right now.
Thanks, man. But it's interesting that because most of the time these days, when directors and producers, when they want to see concept art, they have to be so realistic.
Yeah.
It's actually, sometimes I fight it to, can it not look like a photo? Can it be a little bit more artistically interpreted? Or so it's hard sometimes for artists, because it's too easy to make things look like photo these days almost.
Yeah.
That's why I still like the Defender series, because they are realistic, but then they actually look a little bit different from the actor. Like, it looks realistic, it feels realistic, but doesn't actually look exactly one to one to the photo.
So we've referenced that actually a fair amount tonight. Are those pictures on your Instagram?
They are.
Yeah. So then we'll actually post a link to these on the Facebook page, because they are like, I mean, you've done so many like amazing pieces, and you've been so gracious to like you've given me like a few of them as like print gifts like through the years. The like man, so much stuff, but I like those just the color scheme is what hooked me in so much with those. I think they're brilliant.
It's almost like an album cover.
Yeah, totally.
That's why I like it.
Dude, that's what it reminded me of. Is like a 4-panel kind of fold out.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? And I'm totally not mad, but like I think not long after I did those, you know, Mondo.
No.
Mondo, they do a lot of cool stuff, but I think it's mondotees.com. They're big, and they are very into the pop culture stuff. So they will hire famous artists to like redraw like a sci-fi movie poster, but in their style, and then sell it, and like proper license stuff. And they also do a lot of vinyl soundtrack. And they did a vinyl soundtrack of the Defender, and the cover it's a bright yellow cover with Luke Cage on it, but more stylized. But I was like, oh, I want to do those.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But so that's kind of the inspiration style wise, anyways.
All right, we got a couple of questions here now. One, what advice would you give someone who wants to get into art, storyboarding, and or animation? I mean, I don't think you storyboard per se. Do you? Or do you?
I've done storyboard, but like that's not my main area. Like there are much better people in that expertise.
Yeah, that's a Jeremy Simpson question.
Oh, totally. Yeah. But I mean, the fun thing of that is these days, because the next part of that question is like, where do you learn it, or like doing what school you go to? There's so much online materials, like in terms of like tutorials and stuff. You don't necessarily have to go to school for that these days. I mean, even back in the days, like art, if you're good at drawing, like nobody really questioned where you study it. So I suggest actually try to learn as much on your own before you, even if you do want to attend school, like learn as much on your own, so at least you will have a head start from everybody. So when you are in the school, it's really about refining it rather than like start from zero.
That's good advice, man.
And it's cheaper. You can find easy. There's so much professional artists, like we're talking about like top-notch Hollywood artists that like they'll make their own tutorial video and sell it on Gumroad for like $12. So everybody can spare $12.
Yeah.
To watch a little professional tutorial from somebody.
What is so? Like, have you? I mean, I know that I've actually benefited a lot from having mentors through the years. Like, have you? I mean, just like any profession, I mean, there must have been a mentor or a couple mentors for you. Like, are there people that have kind of fostered your career?
Yeah. So I have an amazing artist I worked with in my younger days. His name is Rob Jensen, and he's still working, but he's so low key. Like he's not like me. Like he's so low key. Like he's super old school, traditional. That yeah, he taught me a lot about like visual storytelling and compositions and stuff. So I to this day he's kind of my friend, and I still talk to him frequently. Yeah.
Cool. And what? How about comics? Are you reading? Do you get to read many comics? Like, are you a comic guy? Like, obviously you're a comic guy, but I mean, like, are you like I get my bundle of books every month.
You get your poll. You have your poll. Yeah. Because usually when I have any time to read comic, it's a very concentrated time. So I tend not to buy single issues.
Yeah.
So mostly I wait for the hardcover or whatnot.
The trade paperback or whatever.
Yeah. Before I get it. But the thing is also like there's so many like tie-in books and stuff. Like especially with like the bigger titles. Like it's so hard to like just. It's not like you read something, it's done. Like the DC metal thing, like there's like a zillion tie-in books. Like, do I need to read all of that to know what's going on? Like there's so many like B-roll stuff, like I'm like what's off the screen stuff. Like, so I actually tend to find like the short mini, even if it's like Batman or something, like shorter mini series that like I can just read one off and then not worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I'm not like a monthly kind of box subscription guy or whatever.
Right.
I like to like pick it up. The story is contained in the trade paperback. I read it start to finish. You know, like like Hush. You know,
Yeah,
it's like Hush.
exactly.
You pick it up, you read it, you put it down, you're done.
Yeah.
But then I get sucked in sometimes. Like Saga. I started reading it and I'm like, I don't really want to get into a series, but again, my buddy Tobin kind of hooked me on it and I was like, oh, it's actually really good.
Have you read the whole thing?
No, man. I think I've gotten to like maybe 4 or 5 in the trade paperback series.
Okay. Because they finished now, I think.
I believe it.
And they have the whole big like collective.
Oh, the omnibus?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's even better.
So I'm waiting to read that.
Yeah. See, that's good, man.
Oh, speaking of miniseries, Batman White Knight by Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yeah, he's so my favorite
artist.
Man.
He's my favorite artist.
Is he really? Dude, you gotta talk to my bro Tobin, man. Like I've been dropping his name like crazy on this. That is like one of his favorites. I'm certain he's got a Batman from that guy.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
So he is the one who actually had recommended that I read that book, and there's a second one coming out now. Yeah.
Yes, Curse of the White Knight. So I'm waiting for that to finish so I can get the hardcover.
Yeah, dude. And did he also do some kind of? I feel like there was a story, and it was
Time Traveling.
What was it called? Was it Time Traveling? It was like
Chrononauts.
It was like Chrononauts. Yeah,
it's amazing.
And then there was one Under the Sea as well, right? Is that him?
I don't know about the Under the Sea one.
Oh, I might have him mixed up with something. These are all things that Tobin throws at me.
Well, the Under the Sea one, not Under the Sea, but Matteo Scalera, he had a series called Black Science.
Okay.
And there's some Under the Sea part. It's like almost like retro sci-fi.
Now this was actually like almost like a dichotomy of like there was a hedonistic element to the society, and then there was like these kind of lower level folks, and it's like deep under the sea. It was like post-apocalyptic. I thought it was the Sean Murphy guy, but
it could have been. I mean, I don't know every book that he has done, so.
Oh, Tobin just messaged me.
Oh,
he's like that Batman looks great. So he's gonna be. Oh, there it is, Tobin. Look at this. That's for you, bro. Get that bid in. Bid. Man, I feel bad. I'm like I've totally taken you over time. We scheduled kind of from 8 till 9.
And good. Hey, if it's good turnout, like we should look into it again.
Yeah, man. This is like been so awesome. We're at 9:36, so we've gone like an hour and a half. So we're like 36 minutes over the original hour.
Man. Yeah, let me know when you want to wrap it, and we can.
Okay, well, if you're cool to go for a few more minutes, then maybe we'll just go for a few more minutes.
Yeah. If there's any more questions, shoot it.
For sure. So that's what we'll do is we're gonna do a last call for questions, folks. Last call for questions. We'll go for another 9 minutes here. We're gonna take it to 9:45. This is gonna be like a cool 45, Colt 45 shooter, and then we're gonna let Andy go because he is a very busy person in general. We've already stolen a lot of time from him today, but this is your last chance for questions. What is I got a question for you, Andy.
Sounds true.
Um, have you? Because I mean, you've been around a long. You've been around a minute. What like have you seen or have other artists who are like established or kind of more emerging artists, have they come up to you and been like, man, like your work inspired me? Has that happened to you yet? Or like I
There's a couple I bump into sometimes in fan cons that yeah, there'll be like some artists that have followed my work, and then now that they are in school or like just graduating, like kind of starting to work in maybe like a game company or something. So there are a couple that have come up to me, told me about that.
so here, that's actually sort of you've worked on video games, yeah?
Uh, not a lot less in-game stuff, but I have done some maybe like early stuff or like more like maybe marketing type thing, poster designs for that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because well, I mean, like, because do you have like a connection? I feel like I've seen you have some kind of connection to Bardell Entertainment or something like that.
Oh, I worked there.
Okay, so is that not like they don't have a segment that's video games there, or you're like animation and that's
They're pure animation. They're the
okay.
one that work on Rick and Morty.
Gotcha. Okay, so here I am, like, I got my wires crossed. Then I knew that you had a connection to them for sure, but then I was like, yeah, this Joker's looking like it's coming in here,
He's
coming in
creeping.
hot.
He's
Yeah,
creeping.
coming in hot. Dude, that's insane. I wish I had your kind of talent.
And then you have other towns I don't have. How about
Have you ever?
What? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Like, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, this is like, this would be like a bunch of these panels would make a sick comic. Like, have you ever done something in that vein? Like, have you ever actually done like a book?
I've done like a friend group project like early on, but no, I don't really have the bandwidth to do any sequential stuff.
For sure, because you're in animation, obviously. Like,
yeah, if I don't have a full-time job, then that'll be cool. But lately, I'll probably just draw my own stuff. I don't think I'll ever like be one that draws from DC. I would love to do covers for them.
yeah, would you do a cover?
Oh, I would love to, but that's comic books. Comic book is such a tight knit group of things that you don't you can't just like penetrate in. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, we'll push it out there. We'll start a petition.
Sounds good. Well, that's a lot for the
Andy Poon for cover art on a Batman comic.
I think that's how a lot of the, because they do so many like variant covers art nowadays, and I think a lot of them are like like comic books actually. I think they pay for it. They'll just find like artists like on Instagram that have a lot of followers that like they know the fans will buy it, and then they would almost like commission them to do the cover, and then they'll be their exclusive ones in their particular comic shop or comic website.
Well, I mean, like you see, I don't know how he got his part or his start, but I always see Scotty Young variants.
Oh yes, he's famous,
super famous, right? Like, but I mean, like that's like it's a less conventional, like that's obviously not something you would see like on a regular cover. It's like a variant, right? But
yeah, but that's another funny thing is when I first started following him. I think it was during like Spider-Man, I think manga or something. Like because now stuff that he draws out almost like has a juvenile quad, almost like Calvin and Hop kind of.
Yeah,
kinky. Like
big time.
has like an innocence to it, but then it's twisted.
Yeah.
But yeah, his old stuff was not as much like that. Like so when he first started doing like that type of stuff, I'm like, oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like a kid's fairy tale book, and then but it got some adult humor to it.
Okay, we got another question here, Andy.
Go for
Okay.
it.
So what it says is, and actually you kind of alluded to this a little earlier, but it says, if not an artist, what else would you want to do as a profession? And then they hashtagged Andy Poon variant cover.
Sweet. I think I wouldn't mind being like a cook or chef or something like that. I guess
Chef.
because to me that's still like some sort of art form.
Oh, it totally is, man. It's like that is very much a creative form, right?
Yeah, like I don't actually like cook a lot just because I work a lot, but I actually enjoy the process of cooking. I think.
Yeah, I do too. I'll tell you what I'm going to cook actually over the like when I get back to town next week. I'm going to try this new curry beef brisket.
Dude, if you can, the only issue is the YouTube channel. It's he's Hong Kong. He speaks Chinese. Otherwise, he has so many amazing dishes. Otherwise, I'll totally send you the link.
That's like unheard of. And I like as soon as it came out of your mouth, I was like, I love brisket. I love curry. I would love
Oh,
this.
so the trick is you cook it and then you let it sit in the sauce and let it soak in overnight. So you don't cook it and eat it right away.
Oh, man, I'm like I feel like, well, I'm gonna place my bid on your artwork, and then I will keep watching it. And then I feel like if I actually am the top bidder on this artwork, I have to celebrate with curry beef brisket.
And then tomorrow I'll send you the finished picture of it.
That's amazing. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna let Andy.
One last look.
Yeah, one last look for you bidders out there. Look at that. Good God, that is insane. Oh man. Look at that. You saw this from start to where it is now, and you'll see it start to finish. Like you'll see the finished product. That is absolutely stunning, buddy. I'm like I'm overwhelmed with how awesome that is. So, thanks, Andy, for everything you've done for FanCon, everything you do for FanCon. Thank you for being part of FanCon, and thank you so much for this. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, buddy.
This year we can be at the same place.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, I'm holding out for a miracle for September. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I'm putting it into the universe that something's going to happen for September. But
They should have a vaccine by then, right?
I think so. All right. All right. Thank you so much, brother.
See you later.
All right. Cheers. Paul. Paul.